Alright, what's up, you got Dan here, and before I get started, regardless of the winner that you or I have picked, I genuinely can say that battle rap fans won. For the longest time, we thought this battle wasn't gonna happen, and it did. And I want to say the UW streamed this battle and got this battle off flawlessly. Jack Thriller being there kind of killed it for me in some parts, and I also feel like the fact that all the rounds weren't unlimited kind of killed it for me also, because there were bars that we didn't get to hear that they had written for each other, and it would have been nice to get them in the moment. Obviously, thanks to blogs, we'll be able to hear them after the fact, but it kind of sucks that we didn't get to hear them in interim. But I will be talking about that also later on in this review as well, which isn't even really a review, it's just more of my thoughts on this battle. I definitely have to give credit where it's due. Loaded Lux is a draw, and he's definitely, I think, yeah, worth his weight in hype. I mean, both of them fulfilled, you know, people's expectations as far as like how this battle was going to go, and I think that's great. You know, for all the hype and everything, I feel like it was worth the hype. I was definitely excited once this battle was done, and you know, there was a big part of me that was like, this battle could possibly be a letdown, and it wasn't. It was anything but. People are still talking about it. People, you know, this battle has incited so much emotion. Like, I haven't seen this much passion since the last Loaded Lux battle, so that should just go to show you how much clout he has in the battle rap community. Pros and cons for both. I feel like Loaded Lux was definitely super complex. He was very methodical in the way that he put his bars together, utilized multis a lot, utilized wordplay a lot, utilized some really good scheming, some really good associative wordplay throughout all three rounds that I could appreciate. There were quotables in this from him for days. The banging on the box, you know, to get the picture, I thought that was crazy. The line in the third round about stand up niggas not leaning was crazy. I could go on and on about the quotables that I heard from Loaded Lux in this battle. Like, it's, you know, there were a lot of things that got put into our lexicon because of Lux from the last battle. You know, for example, look at me, king, you won't get this work, look at you, emotional. Like, there's so many things that like battle rap heads say in groups and just in conversation that we got from the last Lux battle, and I can see the same thing taking place during this battle. So as far as quotables go, Lux was no slouch, giving you things that you wanted to repeat and say. As far as Hollow is concerned, I've never seen his rebuttals this effective. Like, this is, he was literally on fire as far as his creativity went. I feel like he was really in the moment with Lux outside of the bars that he came with, and that just added this extra element. I think that the angles also did a really good job of disarming Lux in a lot of ways. I feel like a lot of guys thought that Lux was somebody who had no comp, and Hollow was always toe-to-toe with him the entire battle. Like, I was just genuinely happy to see that somebody took the time to really break down Lux for what he was. You're claiming to be a revolutionary on one end, and on the other end you're charging 40K and a percentage of the pay-per-view to spread the message. I don't know too many prophets who are in it for, you know, monetary gain. So that angle I loved. The angle about Lux being a diva, I loved. The angle about the fact that a lot of people will give Lux a win, will reach and lobby for Lux. They're so hypnotized by him as a person that they don't even admit to the fact that half of the time they don't even understand what he's saying or have taken the time to ingest what he said to you. And two, there's something to be said about the fact that it shouldn't have to take you 100 times to watch a battle to get everything that a person says as well, which I thought was dope. I think Lux's approach at winning the battle could be seen as predictable, because he used this approach of pointing out Calicoe's flaws and about how the way that he moves as a black man is bad for black men as a whole. And I like the fact that Hollow was there to say, okay, you're calling me flawed, but you yourself are flawed, and also this is just life. This is how it is for a lot of people. You can say what you will about how I'm living isn't right, but if this is all I know and this is all that I've been raised to believe, then what? PB Butler, Percy Butler, made a great point in 750, and I'm going to read it for you verbatim because I don't want to take away from what it is he said. He said, and this is just some of it, it's not all of it. He said, the Lux Hollow battle is the ultimate internal fight that has been going on between black men forever. Who's right in their way of life? You play the hand that you're dealt and you rock with it. I saw two people speak for generations of confusion and misunderstanding of one another. They got their points across and everyone wins in battle rap. I can relate to both. I totally agree with this sentiment, and that's why I feel like this battle is such a crazy, crazy classic. As far as Hollow quotables that I really liked, the Shawn Kemp style line to me was crazy. Like I said, his rebuttals to me were crazy. Another quote of Hollow's that I really, really enjoyed was his whole circus scheme with Hollow, where he pretty much talked about the fact that in order for Lux to even get a bar off, it has to be this big show. And I thought that not only was that a dope scheme, but again, playing into his angle about the fact that everything with Lux is like super turned up and exaggerated. This battle was definitely a clash of the titans for real. Lux came in, like I said, with the Black Panthers and the guns, you know, the berets and the leather jackets. And like on the other end, here's just Hollow, him in a hoodie, very low maintenance overall. I gotta say that this battle couldn't have been any better, honestly. And there are some people who've had the audacity to say this battle would have been better on URL. But had URL had it their way, I doubt that things would have played out the way that they played out. I think that UW did a good job of giving Lux what he needed in order to make it happen. And I don't think that URL was that willing, because if they were, it would have been on URL. So for all the people who are saying, oh, well, it would have been better on URL, in what sense? UW recorded it in HD. There were multiple camera angles. As far as sound goes, the sound was pretty good. You know, there were some issues here and there, but overall, the sound was really good. We didn't miss too much of nothing. And yeah, I don't think that it could have been better anywhere else. Not unless nothing. The only thing that like I said, that I wished would have been different was the fact that we had heard everything that both had to say in their rounds. But like I said, that's another aspect of the battle that is up for serious debate. This battle was epic. Like, this is how battles ought to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was worth the pay-per-view, and for the people that were there live, I'm happy for y'all. I wish I could have been there too, because this really was worth its weight in hype. If you're asking me who I have as a winner, then you probably saw my last vlog where I trolled y'all niggas. But yeah, I still feel the way that I feel in that battle. I mean, in that blog. I do think that Hollow won this convincingly. As far as what rounds I gave Hollow, I gave him the first quite clearly. The second, I edged it to him. And the third, just based on the material that Hollow had in the third, the complexity of it, there was no way that I could really give him the third. Even though I dug what he did, but then again, I don't feel like him bringing out blackface was all that effective. I am looking forward to seeing everybody's reviews and everybody's thoughts on it and stuff like that. One thing that I did want to talk about was the issue with time in this battle. In the beginning of the battle, you see that like Hollow's really adamant about the fact that he wants to keep time, and I think they ended up rocking with 4 to 5 minutes for the first 2 rounds and an unlimited third. Now, there's one side of me that agrees with Hollow in the sense that, okay, if you sign a contract and you're under the impression that, okay, this is how many minutes that I need to have, then both opponents should stick with that. Fair is fair. But then another part of me feels like, well, damn, you killed a classic. And in the very same vein, another part of me feels like to Lux, if you need more than 5 minutes to get your point across in a battle, you severely lack structure. And another big issue that I had with him is you can kind of see him consolidating in a sense, getting rid of a lot of the filler and getting to the point. Being really intricate about simple things is something that I have a big issue with. You don't have to go all the way around the world to get across the street. Just get across the street. Make your point. Make it well. It doesn't require all this build up, all this eloquent, fanciful nonsense. It doesn't require all of that. That's just me personally. Like I said, Lux's third round with Hollow, just like his third round with Calicoe, is classic. If you don't have the transcription, I will actually just leave what I saw in the groups down in the description box so you can read it. When I tell you that Lux's third was crazy, like sitting and getting to read it really like opened my eyes to just how special it was. Don't get me wrong, all 3 rounds he was dope, and I don't knock anybody who feels like he won. Honestly, this is a classic battle. Like, you want to have a situation where people are going back and forth with such passion, and yeah, I'm just glad that history happened and that it was worth its weight. And that's pretty much it, man. I gave it the Hollow, you know, 2-1, barely. You know, that second, the second is super debatable, but I thought the first was clear for Hollow, and I thought the third was clear for Lux. So if we had to have a conversation about who was doing what in the second, we can have that conversation. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. And I'll see y'all in my next review. Peace.